Hello and welcome to Lesson 9 of Higher Computing Science Database Design and Development. We're still on implementation. We're looking at aggregate functions. These are the best. You can probably guess that they can find the lowest number, the highest number, the average or the total number, or it can count the number of records related to a certain group of things. This will make a lot more sense when we jump into it. Here are some of the queries we're going to perform. We're going to find the oldest age of a dog. This might sound a bit awkward, but I'll explain it as we go through it. Find the earliest time a walk has happened, the number of walks that a certain dog's been on, the average age of each breed. This is a useful one, I like this. And find the total of all dogs' ages added together. This makes no sense at all, but it's just to demonstrate one of the functions. So the first one, the age of the oldest, or the oldest age of a dog. So what we want to do is select the age of the dog, right? Like this. But we only want the oldest one. So we could like, I don't know, here are all the ages. We could order by age descending, and then we'll just see the oldest age, right? There it is, 18. But you don't want to see 491 records. You just want to see the one old one. So that's where the aggregate functions come in. We say max age. So this is finding the maximum age in the whole database. So we don't need to order it because it's just going to return a single number. There we are. This is the maximum age, the oldest age that a dog can be in, or that a dog is in our database. Again, we've got this expression expr1000. In this case, we want to use an alias. Aliases are very useful here. So what do we want to say? We want to say oldest age, something like that. Now it makes a bit more sense. Or oldest dog age, who knows? And you might be thinking, well, just seeing the age isn't very useful. I mean, it can be useful. It would be more useful to see the name of the oldest dog, but we can't do that at the moment. In order to do that, we would require something called subqueries or subclauses. And technically, you don't need to know those at higher level, but I am going to teach you them because although technically you don't need to know them, they do come up. But we'll save it for the next video. In this one, we've found the maximum age of a dog in our database. The next query, the earliest time a walk has happened. Again, we go to the database, create a query in SQL view, and in this case, instead of max, the earliest would be the min. So this is going to be the min walk time, walk underscore time, from the walk table. There we are, 9 AM. Again, we've got expr, so we don't want that. We want to say something like earliest walk time, something descriptive. There we go. The earliest walk time, 9 AM. Let's save these queries. Next up, find the number of walks that the dog 1321 has been on. Now this is slightly different because we're not finding the minimum or the maximum. This is going to use the count. So we create a query using SQL. And we want the number of walks that a dog has been on. And to find the number of walks that a dog has been on, we're going to have to count something within the walk table. And to be honest, we can count any field in the walk table as long as they're all related to the dog that we're looking for. So here's what we can do. We could say count, and we could choose a field. So we could say walk ID. Let's do that, walk ID. From the walk table, but it's where the dog ID is equal to 1321. Is that correct? Yep. But because we're using the walk table for the walk ID, and we're using the dog table for the dog ID, dog table, we also need to say where the walk.dog ID is equal to the dog.dog ID. Now this is going to work if we specify which table we're getting this one from. And there we go. This dog has been on 28 walks. But again, we've got the expr1000, so let's fix that. Number of walks. But on its own, again, this is not very descriptive. It's not very obvious what this refers to. So we may want to include some information about the dog. So we could include the dog name, but wait till you see what happens. Your query does not include the specified expression dog name as part of an aggregate function. I mentioned in the previous video about group by that anything that's not part of an aggregate function, whenever you've used aggregate functions, need to be grouped by. So we need to say group by dog underscore name. Now we can see that Greta, because that's the dog we're looking for, has been on 28 walks. And we could double check this. We could go to dogs. I could go and find Greta, here she is. And we could count these. But you can see there are 28 of them. So now it's starting to get a little bit more complicated. Let's save it. And let's do the next one. Find the average age of each breed of dog. We'll create a query in SQL View. And because we want to know the average age for each breed of dog, we'll probably need the breed. And we'll need the average age as, and let's just call it average age. We'll get this all from the dog table. We've got the breed and the age, so we can get it all from the dog table. And we don't need to select specific breeds or ages. So all we need to do, because we have used an aggregate function, and we've used a field that isn't part of that aggregate function, we need to group by the breed. Group by breed. Oh, and it's not average. I'm a doofus. It's AVG. Ta-da! You can see that some of these average ages, it extends beyond the width of the column. So if you ever see those these hash symbols, just widen the column. Bloop. There you go. And finally, find the total of all dogs' ages added together. A totally pointless query, but let's do it. Create query SQL sum age from dog. And it's as simple as that, but an alias is required. Total age. Something like that. There we are. Totally pointless number. So that's the basics of aggregate functions. We may need to do more practice on this because it is quite a significant portion of the database's content when it comes to exams and courseworks, the course assignment. So we'll do more examples of this, and there is a thing called subqueries that I would love to show you as well. But I'll save that for the next one. I'll see you then.